There's a pain that is so bad. It's so bad, it won't quit, it won't stop, and it's going to kill you unless you do something about it. In divorce and custody as men, as fathers, we need to understand that if we remain broken men, we create broken things. And if we are somebody that has been broken by losing the most important thing in our world, our families, the unit we tried to hold together, we need to learn how to fix that. We need to learn how special and important and sacred that fixing is. We need to stop seeing it as something where we can start seeing strength as appearance or wealth as social status. We need to start reaching deeper into the philosophies of man on what has always made men great. In divorce and custody, you are going to be hurt, you're going to be destroyed, you're going to be damaged in all these ways. You will be broken in ways you did not expect. If we get online and we're angry and we're making YouTube videos or we're commenting on stuff and we're bitching about the system and saying that it doesn't work, this is not fixing it. If we're talking about female narcissism and how bad our ex sucks, this is not fixing it. Now, these things are valuable. They're part of coping with it. They're part of venting. They're part of dealing with the trauma, the PTSD. They're part of us not killing somebody or killing ourselves. We need to do that, but it is not fixing it. And then on the flip side to that, fixing that isn't faking strength, faking wisdom. It isn't quick fixes. It isn't this stuff that we say makes us feel good while we're still damaged. That doesn't mean you can't feel good. That doesn't mean that you can't replace stuff. That doesn't mean you can't make a bunch of money or go get laid. That doesn't mean that power isn't a good thing. But if you do not fix the broken things that got broken inside of you from this, you create broken things. Those broken things are your kids. Those broken things are your future. Those broken things are the things that got broken that money, sex, and power cannot replace. And so as part of your journey as a man in this entire thing, you got to fix some deep stuff. It takes a long time. It's hard. And to call it what so many men are calling it out there, like going out and getting some validation, is fixing what is broken. No, that's coping. And you need to do it, at least a little bit. But don't ever confuse yourself. Do not ever disgrace masculinity, human life, human achievement, virtue, wisdom, those great things with not fixing your fucking pain. So about 2 days ago, if that matters to you, I put up a video that has to do with divorce and men and the entirety of masculinity who has seen male pain in this false solution that we were given. Now, if you go back and watch that video, I'll put it up here. And in that video, you'll see a much more cinematic version than this video of me breaking this down. However, there's something that happens when you put out a video and you edit it and you do all this sort of stuff. You realize like all the things that you're not saying well, which I'll probably see in this video as well. One of those things that isn't being said well is that I don't talk about fatherhood and how important it is for a man that if you do have kids and we raise them in the wrong way in this culture that constantly diminishes men, we are creating a problem we can't predict. We're creating a catastrophic problem for men. And I want to tell you just how important that is for you. If you're going through a divorce, if you're going through a custody battle, if you have been wrecked by some form of our modern culture that has made it so problematic for men and boys, you need to fix this. You need to fix it right. You need to stop looking for these band-aids of false masculinity that just make you feel better in the moment. Because if you don't, you may feel good now, but you're wrecking the future of both men and women. And it's a future that is right around the corner. We need to understand how important mental health is. We also need to understand that getting new hobbies, getting outdoors, using your body, going to the gym, getting on the dating apps, making money, maybe starting a new career, spending time with your kids is also a part of mental health. But this is also part of the problem because it is not just that. Because if you only do that, you are part of a false solution, a solution that feels good, looks good, all of society accepts, but 5, 6, 10, 20 years later, it implodes, it gets wrecked, it creates a new problem, like broken men and broken women that aren't you, they're your kids. Divorce is insane. You are going to go insane. You will feel things you have never felt before. You may want to harm yourself. You may want to harm other people. And this is normal in divorce, but it is not normal. It is not healthy. And if you maintain that and you just think a hobby is going to fix that, making more money, a different career, a change of space, time, moving, dating 100 women, it is not going to change that. It's going to make you feel different for a little bit. It's going to give your ego a big boost, but it's not going to solve those deep problems that you are confronted with. And this is part of the problem. Our culture doesn't know how to help men through pain. So when you're doing all of those new things, you're going to the gym, you're making more money, you're dating again, and man, it might be amazing. There's much more, much more, and you need help. You need to be led. This is the rite of passage of masculinity in our modern culture. You know, I've dedicated my life to this. I've dedicated my life to bettering men in our modern world. I get how difficult it is. There's so many aspects of it that aren't just divorce and custody. But something that I think you need to know and you need to understand is that masculinity can never be killed. It can never be taken away. You were born with it. You were born into it. You were given it. It is the foundation that you were given to build all things from. And that can always be reawakened. It can always be repaired. And this is where you need to know that so much of the advice online for men is BS. The advice for men, masculinity, for divorce, custody, how to get your life back, how to finally be alpha again. It is geared for desperate men to buy what looks like their solution. And the fact of the matter is in our culture, it's so screwed up that we have so many desperate men. We have so many desperate women as well. What they're saying you lost cannot be taken away. Your masculinity, your fire, your drive, what it means to be a man, that cannot die. We have a feeling of worthlessness. We have PTSD. We have men dying in wars. We have different forms of trauma. When we speak up and try and talk, we're told that we need to do it in the right way or else we'll be canceled. We have divorce and custody, men losing their kids, being falsely accused of abusing their kids and torturing them. These are deep pains with horrific suffering, but they aren't cured by doing steroids or getting one of those jaw things to chew on so your jaw looks bigger in 2 weeks, so that people you don't know can look at you and go, man, that guy looks like a man. You know, what a strange goal. Our fundamental identity of our sex is not by our character, our actions, what we do, it's by our look. These ideas create a terrible culture for both men and women. The worst part of this is we won't have to live in that culture, our kids will. It creates a culture of liars. It creates a culture of men and women obsessed with looking the part of what is supposed to carry the image of masculinity and femininity, but they never have to be it. Now, in our modern society, we have really effed up problems that are horrible, that I just listed. As men, we suffer big time in new ways that we've never seen before. And it is our job, your job, my job, and literally my job, is to take men through this pain without living that false solution. And it's hard. PTSD is hard. Divorce and custody is hard. These things don't make sense. Why do you have to lose? Why do you have to suffer every day? Why do you have to not know? Why can't I just go for the solution? Why can't I take the steroids? Why can't I get the women? Why can't I get the immediate success? Why can't I get something for nothing? Why can't I just have character? Why can't I just have wisdom, philosophy? Why can't I just have the life experience to know what to tell my kids when they're broken and hurt and they are falling apart? You know why? Because you have to earn that. You earn that with your pain. You earn that with you walking through the fire before them and not taking the shortcut. You don't have to look the part because you are the part. And man, I get it. I get it why you wouldn't ever want to do that, especially when you can just go across the street, pay somebody with fake teeth and Botox to show you how to take the shortcut to finally feel like winning. See, when you have changes in your life, good things and bad things, but in this case, pain, you have to go through that pain. Going through that pain and still being able to be honest, still being able to have clarity, being desperate, being so rocked and rattled you can't keep your head straight, but finding a way to do good and remain good, this changes you, this builds character. And see, this is part of it. Men heal differently than women. Men cry, men scream, men get angry, all these different things, but they don't need to follow the guidelines of an effeminized narrative in order to express that, in order for it to be right. Men don't need to be more like women, they need to be more like men. And there needs to be leaders of men who are teaching men how to do this in the right way. You know, when I asked my communities that have been around for 15 years at this point, what is the number one thing that helped you when it came to a trauma or a tragedy in your life? And there were three big answers that were given in that. The first was spirituality and finding a daily practice that could get us into believing in something more, living for something more, and finding deep meaning in things. The second was developing purpose in your life. Now, this kind of goes hand in hand to spirituality, but purpose can be a little bit different because it means that there might not be something that's supernatural involved in it, and it's more within you. We have courses actually on purpose and ambition that really define this really well and help you workshop through it. But the third thing was really important, and that was finding a community or a group. Finding like-minded men that could move forward in something and move towards excellence, but not just that, do it with you. The camaraderie of that, the unification of that was something that was absolutely missing in our culture. Now, I want to put this in perspective really quick. These are men who came back from huge moments of tragedy in their life and rebuilt their lives to a point of what I would call excellence. They were men who had been falsely accused of abusing their kids. They were men who had lost their entire businesses. They were men who suffered from addiction. They were at the worst points in many of those things. They came back to build actual careers, wealth. They now live lives where they travel and live all over the world, or they live in Austin, Texas, or San Francisco, or wherever it is, and have lives that have meaning, dignity, pride, and they build good things. As I always say, broken men build broken things. Rebuilt men rebuild from their purpose. None of those men said that it was an excess of money, an excess of women, an excess of status, or proving to the world that somehow you had made it. I'm going to tell you right now, for many of those men, wealth is really important. For many of those men, having the right dating or sexual life is also really important. But the number one thing for them was not that. When we look at men giving advice to other men about whatever it is, divorce and custody or a challenge in your life, it is almost always money, sex, and power. It is that alone will help you. And don't get me wrong, it will help you. But if that alone is the only thing helping you, it will set you up for failure. If we remain broken men, we create broken things. If we create broken children, we will create a broken future. You, if you do not fix what is inside you, will create a broken future. And if that's not enough for you, the things that you love the most, your children, will become the carriers of your unresolved pain. And I hope you take that message and you do something with it. Like I said, this is my life's work. This is something that I've lived for day after day for nearly 20 years now. And The Rising Man is a community where men can get started with so much. It's a community where if you're going through divorce, we'll help you out with the legal stuff and literally save you thousands of dollars. It's one of the best things that you can do. But if you're past a divorce and trying to get your life back together, or you did get screwed over in the courts, or whatever the situation is, we'll show you how to get past that too. In addition to that, there's a whole bunch of different other things. International living, finding purpose, getting in shape. We do a challenge. We're a true community. Almost every day we talk. In fact, in 20 minutes from now, I am starting a Rising Man call where I'm going to go over my meditation and my fitness stuff and all that different stuff with everybody else in the group. Divorce and custody, fatherhood, being a man in this modern world is a very hard thing. It is something that not many people understand, and there's a lot of quick cliches on it, but this is what we have done. This is what my community has done, of men like you who are getting better. If you're interested in the Rising Man, it is literally the best way to support this channel and to support yourself. The links are down in the description below, and it's something that I keep very affordable for men to grow in, men to get better in, and men to build a great future in. Because a great man builds great things.